In the vast, murky swamps of Central Africa lives a creature that seems to have walked straight out of the prehistoric past. It stands 5 feet tall, has a 7-foot wingspan, and a gaze that can freeze your soul. This is the shoebill, but before it even looks at you, you'll hear it. That's its greeting, a terrifying machine gun rattle made by clacking its enormous razor-sharp beak together, a beak shaped like a Dutch clog and just as deadly. With it, it can decapitate a 6-foot lungfish in a single strike. This bird is a patient, silent hunter. It's a master of ambush, but its most brilliant, most ruthless ambush strategy isn't reserved for its prey. It's reserved for its own blood. And, as you'll see at the end of this video, this chilling strategy is eerily similar to the decisions made by some of the most famous and ruthless leaders in the business world. We think of nature's brutality as something directed outwards, the lion hunting the gazelle, the eagle snatching the fish. But for the shoebill, the most critical battle for survival happens right here, in the nest. What if I told you that in 9 out of 10 shoebill nests, only one chick ever makes it out alive, and the cause of death for the others is their own sibling? This isn't just a squabble over food. This is a phenomenon scientists call obligate siblicide. Obligate meaning it's not a choice, it's a requirement, a pre-programmed mandatory execution. The question isn't if the older sibling will kill the younger one. The question is why this brutal act is the key to the shoebill's entire survival strategy. Let's break it down. To understand the strategy, you have to understand the battlefield. These are not lush, bountiful wetlands. This is an arena of scarcity. During the dry season, the swamps shrink. The water becomes murky and deoxygenated. The fish, the shoebill's primary source of calories, become incredibly hard to find. Every hunt is a massive expenditure of energy. The shoebill must compete with crocodiles for the best hunting spots. Its entire day might be spent just to catch 1 or 2 decent-sized fish. In this economy, energy is the only currency that matters. And raising a family is the most expensive investment a shoebill will ever make. It's a business venture where the margins for error are razor thin. So, like any good strategist, the shoebill has a plan to de-risk its investment. And this is where the genius begins. Why lay 2, sometimes 3 eggs if you know you can't feed them all? It's a classic strategic concept, the heir and the spare. The mother shoebill lays her eggs several days apart. This isn't random, it's a deliberate tactic. The first chick to hatch, the heir, gets a critical head start. By the time the second chick, the spare, breaks out of its shell, the firstborn is already bigger, stronger, and more demanding. From that moment on, the parents engage in blatant favoritism. They follow a simple rule: feed the strongest. The firstborn gets the fish. It gets the water the parents bring back in their beaks to cool it down. It gets the shade under the parents' wings. The second and sometimes third chick, it is systematically neglected. It's not just an afterthought, it's a living insurance policy. Its only purpose is to survive for a few weeks just in case something catastrophic happens to the heir. It is a backup hard drive designed to be wiped clean once the primary data is secure. But evolution doesn't just rely on starvation. That would be inefficient. Instead, it weaponizes the firstborn. The older sibling begins a relentless campaign of terror against its younger siblings. This isn't a quick push. It's a slow, methodical process. The older chick will use its size advantage to block the younger ones from the shade, leaving them to bake under the harsh African sun. It will intercept any food that comes near them, and it will peck them, constantly. Not to kill them outright, but to weaken them, to assert dominance, to make their life a living hell. And then comes the final act. When the younger sibling is too weak to even beg for food, the older one will use its large, hooked beak to shove it, to push it, until it is forced out of the relative safety of the nest. And the parents, they watch, sometimes from only a few feet away. They do nothing. They don't intervene. They don't rescue the fallen chick. For them, the insurance policy has just expired. The strategy has worked. The stronger bloodline is secure. Now, you might be thinking other birds do this, and you're right. Eagles, pelicans. They also practice siblicide. But there is a critical difference. For them, the killing is facultative. It happens only when resources are scarce. If there's plenty of food, both eagle chicks might survive. But the shoebill strategy is obligate. It happens every single time, regardless of how much food there is. Even in a good year, the spare is eliminated. Why? Because the shoebill's environment is so unpredictable. Evolution decided it was better to always bet on one guaranteed winner than to risk losing everything by splitting the pot. So let's sketch this out on the napkin. Plan A: be fair, feed both chicks equally. Result: 2 weak, malnourished offspring. In a harsh environment, the chance of either surviving is low, genetic failure is likely. Plan B: the shoebill strategy. Sacrifice the spare. Funnel all resources into one chick. Result: 1 powerful, well-fed offspring that is almost guaranteed to survive and reproduce. It's a brutal equation, but the math is undeniable. It's a strategy that has allowed this prehistoric-looking bird to survive for millions of years. But here's the final twist. This incredible, hyper-specialized strategy is also its greatest vulnerability. Because it relies on a very specific type of wetland habitat, the shoebill is incredibly sensitive to climate change and human encroachment. Its brutal efficiency requires a stable battlefield. And in a rapidly changing world, this ancient survivor's greatest strategy might just be its Achilles heel. And, as I promised in the beginning, this ruthless logic of survival isn't just found in nature. Think of Steve Jobs when he returned to Apple. He ruthlessly killed 70% of their products, including the beloved Newton, to focus all resources on just one winner, the iMac. Like the shoebill, he sacrificed the spares to guarantee the survival of the one heir. The battlefield is different, but the strategic logic is surprisingly similar. What other brutal strategies from nature or business do you know about? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the Napkin Strategist, where we uncover the genius plans hidden in plain sight.